Guys, say hi. Say hi. No? Not feeling it? She was in my lap. So I figured I'd show you guys Luna. Oh, sorry. Anyways, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to It's As Told by Akita. And today is another 90 Day Fiancé, y'all. So the last 90 Day Fiancé, listen, my husband does not like Lewis. Okay? So that one was a rant from him. I didn't know it was going to go that way. We're going to do another one, but today I'm doing one personally because he doesn't really know about Annie and David. He really only watched for Molly and Lewis because he felt some type of way about them. So I'm going to do Annie and David, y'all. So as you all know, I'm pretty sure the season is over. They did the tell-all. So I'm almost positive that it's over. You never know with TLC. You never know with 90 Day Fiancé. You'll think that it's over. Then they have some weird special in the middle trying to give you an update of everybody. So I have no idea if it's over. So basically, I am here to break down each and every couple from 90 Day Fiancé because the truth of the matter is I feel differently about all of them, and trying to squeeze all of them or one whole episode into one video will either end up putting it into two or three parts, and I don't really want to do that. So I'd rather just home in on them individually so we can get to know some things about them. Okay? So today we're gonna do 90 Day Fiancé. But if you guys don't mind, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, share, Facebook, Twitter. I also have a Patreon now. I'm going to link that down in below with the description box, along with my Snapchat, my Instagram, and my Facebook. Okay? Thanks. So you want to play with me now? So let's do David and Annie, y'all. Now, I wrote some stuff down, some stuff that we might not talk about in the show, but I feel like it's kind of important for us to know about David and Annie. Okay. So first of all, David is 45 years old. David has children. He was married for 21 years, and ultimately him and his now ex-wife, they got a divorce after the 21 years, which left David with kids, grown kids, okay? So after the divorce, David was going through some things, y'all. I read that he was overweight and he was just not being the best David could be. So around that time, he ends up, befriending Chris, and Chris has money from his multi. Chris is the best friend. If you guys haven't watched it, you'll see the part that Chris plays in this. So, at 48 years old, David and Chris like, listen, man, we don't have wives. We don't have responsibilities, even though David has children, but whatever. So we're going to go ahead and take a vacation off to Thailand. They go to Thailand. They're living it up. And one night in a karaoke bar, he runs into Annie. Now, Annie is 24, but was 24, and he fell in love with Annie. And after 10 days of knowing Annie, he proposed. That's pretty much the backstory. Got a divorce, gained some weight, lost a lot of money, went on some vacations with his friend, found the love of his life in Thailand. 24-year-old Annie. Now, the small problem with him falling in love with Annie is that he has a daughter, Ashley, who is around the exact same age as Annie. So, there's that. Okay, cool, perfect. David and Annie's engaged. Now we're up to date with each other, David is in Thailand for majority of his season on 90 Day Fiancé. And while in Thailand, David doesn't realize how expensive it is to marry a woman from Thailand. David didn't do no research. David didn't care. David was like, listen, I'm going to marry her. But the problem is David lost everything in the divorce. He lost his house, his cars, his money. Like, mama took all of that. Okay? David's ex-wife took everything. And as she should, after 21 years of being married to this man, children with this man, and then we find out somewhere down the line David was a cheater, which doesn't surprise me, but okay. So David and, Annie are in Thailand, and there's one particular episode where she's talking about the dowry that he has to pay. Now, for people who do not know what a dowry is, which I think most of you probably do, but a dowry is basically some things that money that you pay out to the family if you want to marry their daughters. I know some gypsies do dowry. You have to pay and come up with some type of gift or something that you're going to give to the family to show that you're able to support and love the daughter that you want to take the hand. And I think they also do it in Haitian culture and things like that. It's a couple of cultures that do take dowry before they allow their daughters to marry. Anyway, so David's like, I don't have this money. They wanted 50,000 baht. And I think 50,000 baht in our money is like $15,000. So David's like, I don't have that. I don't have $15,000. And on top of the $15,000, David had to buy buffalo, two of them. And the buffalo were like 700 baht. I don't know what that converts to our money, but money David basically did not have. And he also had to buy gold and things like that for Annie and himself, so he can show everyone in her, her village that, listen, she's marrying somebody that's wealthy. David don't have this money. David don't know where he gonna get this money from. Yes, David is working over there in Thailand at this point because Chris left his ass over there. Like, listen, David, I gotta get back to the real world. So Chris left him over there. But the entire stint of his stay in Thailand, Chris was sending money to David. Kristen went and got married, got somebody pregnant. Nikki, his wife, got her pregnant. Like, he got a whole life going on over here, but he is still sending money to David so that David can do whatever it is that David's trying to do. So we speed past a little bit. We meet Chris and Nikki. Now, Chris is David's best friend, and he's basically Big Daddy David to not just, Big Daddy Chris to not just David, but he's Big Daddy Chris to Annie too. Because Chris is like, well, I gotta give my friend this money so that he can marry this woman. This is the love of his life. Like, Chris is what we call a crazy ass friend. He would do anything for his friends, even when he should be in a position where he's telling his friend no. And it's kind of like, you need to sink or swim, like emasculating him basically. Like, you're a 48-year-old man and I'm taking care of you and I'm okay with it because I think you're going to win. And I think that's complete bull. He's a grown man, and when you're babying him financially that way, you're emasculating this dude. Like, how he's supposed to grow up and be a man and actually take care of his wife if you're constantly flipping the bill for him? Anyway, so Nikki is not happy. Nikki's like, he's constantly sending money to him. I'm tired of it. We got a family. We got things to do. Like, I'm tired of it. And while I understand that this is Chris's money that he had before Nikki, and she shouldn't be trying to be kind of stingy with it, but as a wife, once we are married, once we come together as a union, my money is your money and your money is my money, and making financial decisions like sending your friend tens of thousands of dollars like every time he calls you and you're not talking to me about it, yes, we have a problem. Sorry, I'm married and I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed if my husband sent $100 to somebody and didn't consult with me about it. Because now I'm looking for that $100 because we need it and it's gone and no one said anything to me about it. So I would have a problem. Like, I'm with her. As a wife, you talk to me, we should have those types of conversations. But Chris didn't give a good goddamn. Sorry. He didn't care. He sent his friend that money every single time. So now Chris is over here and they're discussing David and Annie coming back to the United States after this lavish engagement party that, of course, David cannot afford. And, of course, off camera, David asks Chris to flip the bill, and Chris does. He does. He gives him the rest of the money to pay off the baht, or to pay some of the baht, or at least most of it. He gives him more money. Then David hands out money to everybody that runs up to him with their hands out. He's giving baht here and there, just giving out money that don't belong to him. Fine. Okay. So basically at some point, Chris and David have a conversation, and it's about how David spent the money on the two buffalo that was going to get them back to America. So now Chris has to get those plane tickets too. Poor Chris. Poor Nikki. Poor Annie. Because I don't think she realizes at this point how much Chris was really doing for her. I don't think she knows. I think she thought David was figuring it out, and his way of figuring it out was just putting them in debt. Because once you marry him, that is y'all debt. That debt to get you here, that money that he borrowed, that's y'all debt. Y'all have to pay that back. Whether you want to see it that way or not, that's the reality. When you start making money, you and your husband need to start paying back these people that you borrowed money from. You have to. But okay, so Annie's in the dark. Nikki knows what's going on, but she's pissed, so she's not really saying much about much. And then it's divulged, like it's told to us that David and Annie's going to go to LA. And they're going to kind of take like a mini vacation. Although I feel like they were already on vacation because like David wasn't fronting the bill for shit. But all right then. So they talk about it, and Chris makes it awkward while they're at dinner Chris is like, hey, I know you give Tom massage, to David, and I'm not asking you guys to pay any rent, but would you be willing to give a massage to me by the pool at my house in California when you get there? And I look at Nikki as a black woman, and I go, so why are we not like upside his head? Don't you what? Asking another woman to give you a massage, and not only are you asking her to give you another massage, you're asking her that in front of me. You're gonna ask your friend, your best friend's soon-to-be wife, to give you a massage with why? Okay then, cringy as hell, cringy, cringe. Okay, of course Nikki does not agree to this. David does not stand up for her. Annie doesn't agree to it either. Nikki and Annie are both looking at each other, looking at the two of them, because these two got like this eye contact, and no one, I don't think besides maybe me and my best friend, probably noticed, like they looked at each other like, just asking, man. And David's just like, well, you can't make her. Like they looked at each other like they knew what that was about. Okay, fine. Speed past. They have a bachelor and bachelorette mesh up together. And David gets pissy drunk. It's clear that David has a drinking problem, but he's a 48-year-old man, and she's pissed. She's like, you're embarrassing me. My friends are seeing this. Like, why are you this drunk? And then she tells us that this wasn't the first time she's ever seen David this drunk. Like, this is like an ongoing thing. But David doesn't think that he has a problem. Okay, David, you don't have a problem. Speed forward a little bit, because nothing really happens. It gets a little boring, and then they are in LA. They get to America. They get to Nikki and Chrissy's house. And Nikki's like, I mean, she said it back in Thailand. You guys, this is my house. Your house is my house. Blah, blah, blah. You guys are going to have your own space, your own bathroom. We're going to just share the kitchen. And yeah, that's cool. Now, at this point when Nikki's trying to be a good host, she doesn't know something. Chris has co-signed for the K1 visa because David financially could not support himself and Annie. And in order to get someone over here into the country on a K1 visa, you need to be making enough money to support not just yourself, but to support them in all of their needs. That is their health care, their food, their housing, anything that it is that they're going to need to be efficient here in the States, you have to be able to provide, and David cannot. So Chris co-signed and did not talk to his wife about it. Did not say, hey, I am signing us up to be financially supported, like to financially support David and Annie for the next 10 years. So if David decides to leave her, we have to take care of her. She has to live with us, or we send her back. She has to stay here with us, and we have to feed her and make sure she has health care, and don't let them get pregnant. Okay. And we got to support that too. We have to help with that too. And the person who tells Nikki about it is Annie, not Chris, not her husband, not the guy that she made vows with. He didn't think that that was an important factor to tell his wife. He just went ahead and did it because best friend, bro code. Annie tells her at dinner, and it pisses Nick off, and you can see it all in her face. But before that happened, there was a fight. And the fight happens between drunk David and Nikki's brother. And David made some like crude comments. They're out at the hot tub. Everybody's sitting. Everybody's talking. Everybody's drinking. But you can clearly see that David was drunk. Don't get me wrong. Antonio was drunk too. Nikki's brother, he was drunk. But I think David had been drinking it straight. Like no filter, no soda, no cider, no cranberry juice, no nothing. Like it was just vodka in a red Solo cup. That's it. That's all. That's how he was drinking. And Annie, he starts teasing Annie like, oh, me sleep on bed, we sleep on the floor, you do this. Like he was teasing her, talking about it, and you can see she was completely uncomfortable because that is something that happened in their bedrooms between the two of them, and nobody knew about it until David opened his mouth. And Nikki and her brother like, David, what the hell are you talking about? Like what? Like, are you drunk? And he's like, oh, everybody's drunk. And everybody's like, yeah, David, but you're taking it a little too far. So Nikki brothers go, why are you letting him talk to you like that? Like I teeter-totted on the side of it because I know if it was one of my brothers, they would have said something to David. They would have been like, why are you letting him talk to you like that? Why are you letting him discuss? And if I'd have said to my brothers, listen, I talked to him about him drinking. He still drinks. Like, I can't do anything about it. I cry about it. I asked him to stop, and he just doesn't listen to me. My brothers would have went the hell in on David the same exact way.